Alright, looks like we're alive again. I'm not sure. I think it was my Comcast. I don't think it was Twitch. My Hex lagged a little bit too, so. Thankfully, like I said, the game's been effectively over for a few turns here, so. He attacked us with a 1-1 and then passed the turn, and we're gonna hit him for the casual 16 here. Time ripple his spiderling because we can send a message. I'm all about sending messages. Yeah. Twitch doesn't do well with connection issues all the time. Alright, opponent concedes. We are, I'm going to go ahead and run my youngest up to bed. Here's the deck list here on screen. While we wait, though, I have this sweet Kyotl spoiler from set 4, and I'm going to go ahead and put up over here. Got a Starlight Pathfinder, kind of sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and run my youngest upstairs, and I'm going to come back and replay some more matches and talk about this sweet Pathfinder. Maybe it was the Twitch server I was on. Yeah. Connection's pretty solid. So this card's interesting. It might actually slot okay into the Kyotl deck that I've been playing. And the reason why it's interesting in that Kyotl deck is because that Kyotl deck is playing Wintermoon as the champion, because if you prophesize this and then it dies, you can put it back into your deck with Wintermoon and then automatically get this back into your hand after you Wintermoon it back into your deck. And then because you've Wintermooned it, it's going to draw a card. So basically, if you're playing these with like Crow Feathers or something else, like, yeah, it seems like Crowfeather with Wintermoon, I think this card could be reasonable, and we're definitely going to try at least a couple of them with that deck when Primal Dawn hits. So I am excited to give that a try. I'm going to queue a match here while we wait. But yeah, so it's definitely a little bit medium on its own, but like once it gets prophesized and like you start putting it back into your deck, you just like automatically get to draw it every turn and they can never kill it. And if it's crow feathered and you automatically get to draw it back out of your deck, then it keeps crow feathering the next things too, which is great. Hey, Colin. All right, so he's playing generally. Tezot is the Azure Cannon deck, and that matchup's kind of hard for Wintermoon, generally speaking. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Being on the draw is an added difficulty. So opponents usually, So there's the Sapphire. Tezot is usually a Ruby Sapphire aggressive combo deck. Gonna grab the peak here as opposed to another shard. And they just play infinite tunneling guys in their deck, and that's one of the reasons why it's so tough too. They have tunneling guys and counter magic, so like their troops come off of tunneling, and then we try and counter magic, and they get to counter magic us back, and it's just not a good. Yeah, definitely, Colin. And like the even the Kyotl build that I've been playing, like I wouldn't even classify it as strictly a control deck. All right, so he's missing a shard drop, so that's good for us. Ripple sounds great. So we're gonna go ahead and Chlorophilia here, and this could be Subterranean Spy. So I think I'm going to put the Chlorophilia and the Arcane Focus back in for now because we have a Mass Polymorph Dinger in our hand, so I would like to get to this as soon as possible. I just want the maximum number of ramp spells. And yep, it's the Subterranean Spy, which while this is tunneled, he gets to look at our hand, which is kind of annoying. I think during his end step, if he doesn't do anything else, we're just going to go ahead and Time Ripple this guy back to his hand. Miss the shard drop one more turn. Alright, and he tunneled something else, so I'm going to go ahead and Ripple this guy. Okay, so Root Father, I'm just going to start by cycling this. And it's possible I'm supposed to keep him there just because a quick Root Father is often the best way to win, and I guess we're only 2 turns away from it, so yeah, so maybe I was supposed to keep Root dead there, actually, now that I'm thinking about it a little more. The fact that we're a little flooded. Opponent Charge Group, okay, now we're getting a lot flooded. Yeah, I should have kept, Root dead. And, like, I couldn't have known that we were going to, like, draw running shards here, but I think just the fact that his deck has, like, a scary amount of inevitability, essentially, just with its Azure Cannon combo finish, that I was supposed to do that. So this is also a Subterranean Spy, which we know, but I want to just get Counter Magic out here now while I can. That would have been better to Counter Magic. There's no guarantee he had a shard drop this turn, though. Just mono. Hopefully he doesn't have a counter magic and his hand is mostly troops. So this Subterranean Spy gets whenever this deals damage to opposing champion, he draws a card, so he's going to get to draw a bunch of cards here. If he doesn't have counter magic, this Dinger can get him, but if he does, he knows he needs to hold it up because he's been able to look at our hand this entire time, and he knows we have nothing. And he gets to draw a card here. Yeah, so I think we just have to jam the Dinger and hope for the best. This is going to eat counter magic, I'm sure. Yeah, just like opponent miss shard drops for forever, and we're still just going to die because this matchup's miserable. This is the hard matchup for Wintermoon for sure. Because like none of the tools we even have, we just don't even have good tools in the board. They just don't exist for these colors to combat what our opponent is doing. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and we're more than dead. We needed some spells that game, but So Sapper's Charge can come in, and Verdicts can come in, but really that's about all we've got going on. A lot of our tools, like I said, are just not good. Buccaneer is kind of clunky. I think I just hit submit like this, like we bring in Sapper's Charge and we bring in some cheaper counter magic and then hope for the best. Like even the cripples aren't great because like the Azure Sorceresses stay in play and keep inspiring, and other guys stay in play and keep inspiring, and just ugh. This will probably be a quick one. We'll get to a third. I'd like to play first. Yep, this hand is reasonable. I lost in the semifinals in top 4. I got crushed by what did I get crushed by? I got crushed by Soul Marble. Just we didn't have any ways to interact with that. I streamed with Blood Sapphire, actually 5-0 Gauntlet with it, with Chaos Keys and Time Ripple in it, just so we could have some interaction for that kind of thing. So we're just gonna go ahead and get our ramp on. This deck has all the tunnelers. And they get to board in 2-cost counter magic post board as well, Verdict of the Ancient King, so. Alright, well. Chlorophylia is technically a spell, I guess. Technically. So Chlorophylia, Shard of Instinct next turn, probably. Yeah, that last game I messed up by not keeping the Root Father in for sure. This we can Time Ripple at least and gain a little bit of tempo here. Another shard. Ripple that. Play Chlorophylia. Play Shard of Instinct. Put Oracle Song and Ripple back into our hands. We've got more than enough resource at this point. Don't need another Chlorophylia. So this deck does effectively play, 26 resources because we have 22 shards, and then Chlorophylia is essentially a shard, even though it's a shard ahead of the curve, but it's still essentially a shard. And he knows we just have a bunch of blanks in our hand. It's unfortunate that these stats don't die to Cadarasaurus or the deal 2 damage card, Sapper's Charge. Like this card is the big reason they're able to just like get out and away from us. Is just it inspires all of their guys to draw cards when they deal damage to us, and it's just rough. Usually I think people just like post in the trading chat, like looking to sell gold for plat. So he cracks us for 3 here. The Cadarasaurus gets to battle this and trade next turn at least. We got that going for us. Hopefully find another Time Ripple. I guess I cut the Buccaneers, and like Buccaneers okay against this. So, alright, well. We got that going for us. We hit the card I wanted to draw. I'm unsure why he played out this. Does he have like a target thing gain spell shield? It's weird that he played out the one that cost 3 instead of replaying the one that cost 4. So I'll resolve this. These fight. We gain 2 when something fights from this. Oh, he could have a burn here. He knows that we have the Saurus in our hand, so he probably has a burn. Although, why would he leave burn in post board against us? Unsure. So we're going to put Ripple and Cadarasaurus back into the deck. Already played a shard, passed the turn back. There's a Just 4-drop. All right, we need something to interact with the board again, or just something that draws cards. Well, that's interacts with the board. It's like mono ripples. And again, like, it looks like the board's empty, so we're doing okay, but the thing that we need to keep in mind that shows we're really behind is that he has 7 cards and we have 1. The fact that we're behind so many cards really, though, has to do with the fact that he's only played 4 resources and we've played 8. So, like, if he had played 4 more resources, like, or now 3 more resources, he would only have 4 cards in his hand and we'd only be behind a little bit. So, really, we're super behind because we've drawn so many shards. Play this Chlorophilia. Play this shard out since he knows about it. We now have 10 resources to his 5. It would have been less sad if that would have been the Chlorophilia we would have shuffled in. Now he gets to activate Tezot's ability. So he gets a 6/6 that whenever it deals damage to us, he draws a card. At least he didn't have Azure Fate Sorceress this turn. We got that going for us. Probably has counter magic at this point. I mean, alright. Well, we're going to bounce your 6/6, draw a card. I'm going to bounce your 2/3, draw a card. Play this resource out, and then put both these time ripples back into our deck. So we really want to draw those time ripples now, because they draw 2 cards when they has the Azure Fate Sorceress and was holding it. That's weird. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm pretty sure that's just a mistake. He should have played this out in response to me bouncing his other guy, because then he would have drawn a card here because it would have been inspired. This is essentially traditional Wintermoon control. Yep. Is Eglov's Wintermoon configuration. WorkerBot is in here, I think. I think it messages in private. I'm not sure. I forget. Yep, that's fine. So it deals damage to us equal to his power because it gets inspired by Azure Fate. Getting low on life at this point. Yeah, perfect. So this will deal damage to us, and then we take 4 here. Oh, and it draws a card because it got inspired by this other Mentalist. Rough. So we're going to 6 here. And I boarded out the Dinger, so we're basically just like drawing blank here, I think. I guess we could find like a series of time ripples to buy ourselves time, but yeah, okay. Counter magic, so we're just dead. GG's opponent. And like I said, like, you can't get upset about losing matchups like that because they're just bad matchups. Like, not every deck is going to be good against everything else. So, and I think the Azure Cannon deck specifically is the single worst matchup for the traditional like Eglov hard Wintermoon control like this. Yeah, right. Just so like the fact that you just don't have any hard removal just makes it super awkward. So this hand is medium. It's okay in the mirror. I guess we could just like, since it's the mirror, we could just like play this Canarasaurus on 2. That's probably what I'm gonna do, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna play this on 1 for the wild shard, and then play Canarosaurus on 2. So this is actually a hard control deck. The reason why hard control decks in Magic aren't able to play effects like Time Ripple effectively because they are card disadvantage. Because of our champion's ability that adds the line draw a card, that adds the text draw card to every card that you shuffle back in, we're actually able to play some strict card disadvantage like that in our deck successfully. Yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely closer to hard control than anything else. This is likely a Reese, if he's playing the Havoc configuration of Winter Moon. I'm not sure how this matchup is for us. I haven't played it before. It's probably not too awful. We would like to find another cantrip here, so we can activate it. Perfect. So cantripping into a cantrip normally is not great, but because, again, we have our champion ability with Winter Moon, we get to go ahead and put these arcane focuses back into our deck, so the next time we draw them, they will draw 2 cards for us. They will draw a card when we cast them, and they'll look at the top 2 and to put 1 into our hand. So just like, again, one of the most important things you can be doing is just activating this ability early and often and getting those cards back into your deck to let you draw additional cards. No, I'm just trying to feature different things. This is a deck that I've been recommending that people play if they want to get into the game, so I wanted to make a point to play some videos with it to record and show some of its strengths and weaknesses. Another Time Ripple is not bad. That means we should be able to deal with this Reese pretty profitably. Ideally, we'd like to find a counter magic here at some point. Crocosaur is also reasonable at fading Reese. Indigo Dreamwalker, yep. So this makes the next card in his deck free, which is kind of gross. Really, and this is just another card that, like, it's the things that have the enter the battlefield effects when you don't have counter magic for them. You can't Time Ripple them without giving them that effect again. So cycle this. Play a shard out. And again, can't attack into that. Canarosaurus is not good in the mirror. That's why I just played it out on 2 as a 2/2. So definitely a Reese. Oracle Song's pretty good. Probably found his card that's free. The sweet thing about that, I've considered playing this card before, because again, with Winter Moon, you get to put the cards back into your deck, so the thing that gets made free, he gets to put back into his deck over and over and over again, so. Dinger's just an impossible card to resolve. Again, he does have Reese, which this makes a random robot at the end of every one of his turns. So it's pretty potent. I'm going to go ahead and ripple this back to his hand before it attacks. Well, that sucks. So this inspires all of his guys to have Spell Shield when they deal damage to an opponent. Draw a card. So hopefully he gets a bad robot with Reese here. He got actually the best robot possible. Alright, well I guess we'll play a Croc and hope for the best. Fight these two guys. So Kronkosaur fights two guys when he comes into play. Let's get Time Revolt. Alright, we're super dead. So Jankbot is a 5/6 that when it attacks, it reveals 3 cards at random from your deck and casts them. So super, super powerful. Buck is not good. Canarosaurus is not good. I guess I have to keep one of these. Maybe keep the Buccaneer. Definitely not destined to win that game. We could Ripple Reese, but then when he recast the Reese, it would be Spell Shield from the Azure Fate Sorceress. Is the issue. I guess I'll leave Buck in. It's more likely to be useful than a Canarosaurus. This hand's a little loose, but getting cheap Root Fathers into our deck ASAP is probably one of our best ways to win this match. So I'm going to keep it. Put them all again to 5. Spell Shield Azure Fate is not something I wouldn't mind going away. It's so annoying. Like Spell Shield and Hexproof and Hex and Shroud or whatever you want to call them, like those are all just like really awful game mechanics. They just like don't let you interact with each other, and then like at least this is only Spell Shield on itself. Like Azure Fate Sorceress just giving every card you play Spell Shield is just super savage. I only dropped 1% frames. I mean, we play 14 Sapphire Shards, so we get like 4 draws before we need a Sapphire Shard to start doing stuff. So yeah, both Root Fathers are cycling. Again, we're getting them into our deck and getting them costing 5 nice and early. So like some hands need to draw resources, some hands need to draw other cards. So it's fine. We hit it like a professional. You would never keep this hand without selection that we could cast or cantrips, but again, the Root Fathers cantrip themselves, so I think the hand is fine. No Reese on 2 is good for us. Reese is a tough nut to crack as well. Play this. Pass the turn, I think. He has counter magic up, so I don't want to just play something out into that right now. I hope there's good answers to Azure Fate. I'm tired of that card. It's so annoying. So it's the reason the Azure Cannon deck is really good against this deck too, is because Azure Fate Sorceress is obnoxious. As Azure Fate Sorceress can actually just never win. That feels really bad. Not looking good for us. I think I'd actually rather take some resources than just a massive cards right now. Yeah, yeah, right? Like, I would much rather this be invincible than has his 5 cost root dead. Okay, so yep, so this is spell shield flying quick, and whenever it hits us, we're super dead. Alright, hopefully we don't just like 1-3 this league and die. Hopefully we get to play against like some Blood mid-range or Rutherford Banks or Ramp deck or something like that. Alright, sweet. Probably another Blood, definitely another Blood deck. So the mid-rangey decks are the ones we want to play against. Say it needs a shard real bad, but it's good other than that. So we've got 2 draw steps to come up with a shard, a peak, a root father, or an arcane focus. Alright, we found arcane focus. The mono ruby matchup. I'm gonna grab this. It doesn't let us cast counter magic, but it lets us cast Oracle Song next turn. Yeah, no one's playing Heat Waves right now, though, is the issue. Like, that card is just non-existent. Oracle Song, put Oracle Song and Arcane Focus back in the deck. He kept a hand with no thresholds in it. He's played Starosphere 3 times. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not going to cast an Oracle Song here, just because we'll have to discard if we do. Alright, maybe that lets him cast something. A lot of his cards are double blood threshold. Yeah, just like still just not doing anything. Now I'm going to Oracle Song, trying to hit a shard. Wow, we bricked. Alright, 2 more looks. We'll have to discard here. I think I'm just going to bin an extra buck for now. I'm going to activate Winter Moon, put these back in. Corpse Fly, sure. So we're going to bin a Time Ripple with this. Next turn we can go ahead and it's kind of sad that he played his card to like attack our hand after we had to move the discard. It's kind of unfortunate. Need to play those. Alright, so that Oracle Song is pretty good because it lets us catch back up on cards here. So these 2 fight. That's one of the few things Canarasaurus can actually kill in his deck. Generally, we board that card out, I think. Oracle Song and Time Ripple back in for now. Actually, maybe I should have done Time Ripple Buccaneer, because he's probably just going to start playing, like, must-answer threats, and we're going to need to bounce them a lot. Yeah, their Inquisition. That sucks. We're going to lose the Oracle Song. Almost cast the Oracle... And maybe I should have cast the Oracle Song last turn. He took the croc. Okay, well. So he doesn't have a kill, I guess? This, okay, sure. I mean, I don't understand this line at all. Like, why would you take my Kronk when you're going to make me discard more cards when this just says draw 3 on it? That's so strange. This lets me draw 2. That's wonderful. To grab a shard. Get to play this shard. Do I want to just hold counter magic up here? Yeah, I guess I kind of do. Well, I have Ripples and Buccaneers. Yeah, I'm just going to play the Canarasaurus and fight this and then play Arcane Focus. The only thing that he can play that we would really want to counter magic is another Giant Corpsefly, which he's already played 2 of, or an Agoraphobia, which they don't always play 4 of, so... Yeah, I think I'd rather just, like, guaranteed use all my resources efficiently this turn. We got a Time Ripple that we'd already shuffled back in, so let's draw a card on it, so that sounds great. This card, again, just don't really care, because we've got Buccaneers and Time Ripples. Oh, you know what? Instead of playing him out first, I probably should have peeked. Hopefully we can peek into a resource here. If we miss on a resource, I'm going to feel kind of bad about it. Because then we can't hold counter magic up. Yeah, man. You've rock-casted my Buccaneer. Alright, sweet. We got a resource. Bounce your Fenteo. I'm going to put some cards that draw extra cards back in the deck. Put this Oracle Song in. Put this Arcane Focus in. Killipede. Don't care about that. Just going to Time Ripple it. We have drawn a lot. That's why this champion is sweet. You just get to draw all the cards. I'm just a simple man who wants to draw as many cards as possible. And like at some point you like draw a Root Father and kill them, but like that's the devil's in the details on that one. Like really we're just about drawing the cards here. So this card's a monster. We haven't drawn this yet. This replenishes our resources on their turn, and whenever they draw a card, we draw a card. So pretty powerful. Again, just like don't care about the troops that he's playing out, because we're just going to Time Ripple it yet again. Let's like Ripple this guy, play Brown Fox Scout. And last turn, we actually saw one of the things that kind of annoys me about Hex a little bit. In Hex, you are unable to respond to your own cards that you're playing, which means that, like, we cast Oracle Song and saw a Brown Fox Scout on top of our deck, and if we'd been able to respond to our Oracle Song after we drew the one card from the Wintermoon ability, but before the Oracle Song resolved, we would have gotten to play the Brown Fox Scout out and then draw 2 additional cards. So we drew 1 less card because we are unable to respond to our own cards in Hex, which is kind of annoying. So this game is basically over. We've got 3 pieces of counter magic here, and so normally he can stop during his ready step if he has kill and try and kill this before we draw a card, but oh man, he doesn't even have that. Opponent is so dead, has extinction. We have counter magic. Get out of here, get got. Yeah, an opponent just concedes on the spot. No, the ability is not part of Resolving Oracle Song, and that's one of the reasons why Wintermoon's ability is so good. Wintermoon's ability draws the cards upon playing the card. It's not part of the resolution at all. So, like, even if your opponent countermagics your thing that has Wintermoon's ability, you still draw the card from Wintermoon's effect, even if your card doesn't resolve. So we're going to bring in a Dinger, we're going to bring in Cripples, we're going to bring in Vine Lash, we're going to cut Croc, we're going to cut Canarasaur, we're going to cut Brown Fox Scouts is what I did last time, I believe. Submit like this. I think I like this. No, it doesn't have anything to do with not being able to respond to things that don't target. It's you can't hold priority in Hex and respond to your own card that you've played. So, like, in Magic, you can... And apparently, you used to be able to do this in Hex, and they got rid of it via an update at some point. Like, you can say, I'm casting my card, holding priority, and then responding to my own card with this other effect. I do not have any plans to play Magic today. We played Magic late last night. Most of the rest of the week, we're playing We're playing this match and maybe one more match after this one, and then I've got to go ahead and shower and get packed for the weekend. I'm having SCG tour stop in Indianapolis this weekend. So, need one more strong finish, I think, in order to lock up my Season 1 PC slot invite, which is my goal for the year. Missed it last year. Do not want to do that again this year. So, have a really strong start. So we're just going to Buccaneer this Vampire Princess next turn. Maybe I'm Time Rippling it, actually. Yeah, actually, I'm going to Time Ripple the Princess, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it lets me activate Wintermoon's ability this turn. And, like, it's annoying if everything gives priority, but especially when you're playing Brown Fox Scout in your deck, like, there's a lot of times where not being able to respond to your own thing causes you to gain a disadvantage that you wouldn't have had with Brown Fox Scout. And I understand why, from a simplicity standpoint, they got rid of it. Like, it's not very straightforward to explain to a new player what you're doing. Take Counter Magic sounds great. Play Wild Shard, put Brown Fox Scout, and Arcane Focus back in the deck. So we're a little flooded here, but we're set up pretty well. We need to just, like, draw some action, and, like, if, 2/3 of our draw steps from this point are action, that'll be fine. Just gonna Counter Magic that. Ventio is very scary. That is not what action looks like. So we got a few turns here. Buccaneer buys us some tempo as well. Hopefully, Relentless Guy. I'm hoping one more top 8 should, I think, give me enough of a cushion that that 3 people can't pass me. Right now, it's feasible that, like, 3 people could pass me. I need to finish the season in the top 3. All right, Vine Lash was a great draw. So instead of Buccaneering this, I'm just gonna Vine Lash it. Sure, but, like, instead of making it so you have to pass priority every time you cast something, you could just, like, have something like holding the control key down makes it so you get to retain priority. So I do agree that it makes things very slow if you automatically give priority every time a player plays a card. Like, that definitely makes things go slowly. Buccaneer does a nice job of keeping Exarch of the Egg at bay here as well. Vine Lash is not Plummet. It does 4 damage to something with flying, which 4 damage is essentially, 4 damage essentially kills most of the popular things with flying. It's annoying. I drew another shard. I'm not putting the counter magic back into my deck because we don't really want to redraw that at this point. So we're looking for, again, Arcane Focuses, Oracle Songs, Time Ripples, things that interact with the board and draw cards is where we're at. Nice thing to know is that Dinger isn't out now at the point of the game we're in. We have 2 Dingers in our deck as well. We've got 8 resources, so... Why is that still in his deck? Sure. This card's not good against counter magic. Drew another shard. Alright, well, we're dying very quickly now. I'm going to throw Buccaneer away next turn just so we can shuffle it back into our deck. So we're taking 4 this turn. We are at least up a game, so if we flood out and die this one, we get a 3rd one to redeem ourselves. Hopefully we will be able to cantrip into something good next turn, though. Or just, you know, rip it right off the top. Kills Buccaneer. Sure, I like using the kill aggressively there. He definitely needs to apply pressure. See this other shard that I've drawn. This was the single worst draw in the deck. Yes, any other counter magic would have been bad there too, but it's an action that we can't play out. So I'm gonna hold this shard because that way Vampire Princess only has a 50% chance of beating. If we play the shard out, Vampire Princess takes our action away. Hopefully he plays a spell before he hits us again. That would be ideal. So that way we can play this and have a 0% chance of him taking it and making a kiss. So we're going to hit for 7 here, and then this, if he hits it, it becomes a Vampire Kiss, which deals 2, so we're at a virtual 1 then, so we have just 1 draw step. Yep, and he ate our counter magic. So Vampire Princess reveals a random card from our hand and turns it into a Vampire Kiss if it's a action card. So we're going to 1 here. He just like have a Vampire Kiss that he boarded in. Life Siphon. Yeah, man. Get got. Alright. Do I want a Verdict of the Ancient Kings or 2 if he has actual Life Siphon in his deck? I think I do. I think I'm going to cut the Brown Fox Scout and bring in Verdict. Yeah, we'll bring in at least one of those. That seems reasonable. Oh, the match we lost in the Swiss of the Sapphire Cup, we got back-to-back double Life Siphoned after it looked like we had just like super stabilized this game. Like no way we can lose. Opponent double Life Siphoned us, and I was just like, fuck. I was floored. I was like, what is going on? We actually have 3 Brown Fox Scouts in the main deck, but I think 3 is too many. Eglov had 3 in his 100k deck, and it feels like too many to me. I think I would definitely go down to 2 or go down to at least 2, possibly even just 1. Because like Brown Fox Scout, it's not good enough that you ever want to actually draw it. So we're actually in a pretty good spot here because we get to suffocate a spell if he casts it, or we get to double peak. Yeah, so Giant Corpse Fly is just like must counter because it makes us discard a card anyways. So Oracle Song. If he has like a Fentio here or a Vampire Princess, we're actually not in that good of a spot because we just have a fistful of actions and none of them. Yep, there's Princess. So now we're gonna have, we've got 4 looks here at a Buccaneer or a Time Ripple to get this off the table. Otherwise, oh sweet, we just drew Buccaneer for the turn. How greedy am I? I should probably be conservative. Okay, we'll cast Peak to start. I guess I'll grab a Shard for now. I was gonna say I could Oracle Song before I Buccaneer, but I think I'm just supposed to guaranteed, because if we brick on an untapped Shard, we can't play the Buccaneer, and then the Vampire Princess gets to gobble up our hand. Yeah, there are things that destroy resources, but they aren't very good. Like, there's a card that's effectively Stone Rain. Yeah, just Peak. He took an Oracle Song this time, so figured that out. He doesn't get to redeploy the Vampire Princess, which is phenomenal for us, because that just means we get to spend next turn gassing back up. He has a Monsoon, sure. Don't really care about that. So I guess we're going to put these 2 back into our deck before we draw 2, so that way we have a good chance of seeing one of those. Play Chlorophilia, which draws a card. Play out the Sapphire Shard, read your Time Ripple. Get to play another Oracle Song, draw 2 more cards. Do I just play that? I feel like I'm supposed to just play that. The problem with just playing this out... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play this out. The problem with playing this out is that this is a Monsoon, which means this has a counter on it, which means that if I just play this out, he gets to Extinction and then bring it back with Monsoon. So I'm gonna grab a Shard here, and the reason why I'm doing this is this allows me to next turn play Root Father with Verdict of the Ancient Kings up. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, we already have the Verdict in our hand, so I think we definitely want that for Extinction. And, like, if he didn't have Monsoon here, I'd be fine trading Buck and Root Father for Extinction and Vampire Princess, but the fact that he's going to get it back with the Monsoon makes that not a worthwhile trade. Sure, man. You got a 3-1. So we're just going to cast this bad boy out. Got my 8/8 flyer here. A spell shield. Opponent's dead in 2. We've got a counter spell for a sweeper next turn. And then get a counter spell for a sweeper next turn, and then we've got a Peak plus a draw step to find another counter magic in case he has back-to-back sweepers. If he has Inquisition into Extinction here, that would be bad. Doesn't even have it. Oh, that's really good for us. That's really, really good for us. Block. And he's attacking here because this guy goes back to his hand. No reason not to. Cast Peek and end step here. Take a peek that draws a card. I guess I don't want to Vine Lash this because he has a Monsoon, so it'll just come back next turn. So let's just Ripple this. And then next turn after he replays it, I can Vine Lash it. Grab Counter Magic. Play Arcane Focus. Draw all the cards. Draw another Counter Magic. Take the Shard. The Blood matchups are very good for this deck. Like the Blood and like the mid-range ramp decks are the decks you want to play against with this deck. Guess I probably just want both peaks here. Peak at this point in the game is it gets closer and closer to just like being a tutor. Like it looks at our top 6 cards and we get to pick one. Plus it like we've Winter Mooned it, so like it draws a card on top of that. So you just see so many cards with it. Opponent should just be dead here. Even if they have a discard spell, we got multiple pieces of counter magic for a possible sweeper. Like we've got Vine Lash to deal with 1 flyer, and we've got counter magic if he plays 1 flyer and then deploys a second right after. Yep, Princess is fine. We have Vine Lash to kill that. Yep, like I said, if he has 2, we get to counter magic this one and Vine Lash the second one. That's the game. All right, we're 2-2 down. Let's play one more here and see if we can finish 3-2 on the day. Thanks for hanging out here today, everyone. I appreciate the support. If you're enjoying the constructed Hex content you're seeing in front of you, I'd appreciate if you use the follow or sub buttons below to show your support. Those are the 2 best ways you can support the stream. We play constructed Magic and constructed Hex here. In terms of Magic, we play Standard, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Pauper, a little bit of everything. I am playing the Collected Company deck at the Open. It's just been the most consistent out of everything I've been testing, which just says something about the format. Storling with the follow. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. I stream, I try to stream a minimum of 3 days a week, at least 1 day of Hex and 2 days of Magic. Usually we do a little bit more than that. I didn't say Collected Company was consistent. I said the Collected Company deck was the most consistent, which, you know, variance. Hopefully this isn't Havoc Moon again. That does not seem good for us. It'd be sweet if it was just like a traditional mirror. That would be hot. Well, this is an easy mulligan. Yeah, easy mulligan. Easy mulligan. I guess we keep. Alright, that was actually a great draw. We wanted a shard resource there, but this likely finds us a resource. Hey-oh. Oracle Song helps us unmulligan a little bit. Worth has no power here. He has no power in Hex. He's got a double Arcane Focus start with a turn 2 Winter Moon activation. Hopefully this is a mirror. We're not just going to get Azure Fate Spell Shield out of the game. Alright, well, I found one. We both have the best start. Genius. Strong. So he's up 2 cards on us right now, but we've got this Oracle Song to gain a little bit of that ground back. I'm actually just going to hold Counter Magic here, I think. Because if he is playing the Havoc build and he has Azure Fate Sorceress next turn, we just like feel super bad about ourselves. Feel like goes Counter Magic your song, untap Azure Fate Sorceress you. Shard's actually a very good draw there. Means we can cast this plus leave Counter Magic up. It's possible I'm supposed to have played my shard out first there to Counter Magic as Counter Magic, but I feel this is feeling like Havoc Moon. That's just that one's been really popular lately. Puts his Counter Magic back in. And like Counter Magic and Counter Magic early is pretty good in Winter Moon Mirrors. Cast Chlorphilia. And again, God, I did it twice there. So I should have, yeah, just super punished. Should have played, and if I would have played out my thing last time, this next Counter Magic, he wouldn't have been able to cast either. Just, ugh. All of the mistakes have been made. Jam Windsinger, Jam Windsinger, Jam Windsinger, Jam Windsinger, Jam Windsinger, Jam Windsinger. He's just gonna pass. He is playing Havoc deck. Alright. Got main deck verdict? Alright, countering Azure Fate is huge. Untap Wild Shard. Wild Shard, Wild Shard, Wild Shard. Alright. It's an Arcane Focus that costs 3, but it draws a bunch of cards. Take a peek. Peek draws a lot of cards at this point. Or looks at a lot of cards, looks at 5. Well, it all worked out, so saving the Counter Magic for the Azure Fate worked, and all of his Azure Fates cost 2 more now. Just has a Croc, sure. I'm gonna grab a Wild Shard so we can play Windsinger next turn. If he has a Time Ripple, playing Windsinger out isn't great, but if he doesn't have Time Ripple, playing Windsinger out basically wins the game. If he has Time Ripple into a Borean Rootfather, we get railed, but come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, start your turn, start your turn, start your turn. Nope, he's got it. Now! Peek, sweet. Alright. Alright. This is good. This is good for the home team. We mulliganed to 4 this game, didn't we? Never give up. Never surrender. Oh, yeah, he draws a card, we draw a card. It's like Christmas. Every day. Every day is Christmas. Windsinger. That's fine. I have a Time Ripple. We could play Draw Chicken here, but Draw Chicken definitely favors him, so we're just going to Ripple his guy. Get it out of here. Block. Cast Peek at end step. Look for Counter Magic. That's all we're looking for is Counter Magics at this point. Well, we'll take an Arcane Focus. Arcane Focus that draws an extra card. Sounds great to me. Play this. It definitely did end up working out in our favor. You are correct. It looks like we're going to have to play Draw Chicken because his Windsinger just comes down again next turn unless we hit a Time Ripple or because we bricked off. We saw a lot of cards there and we bricked off hard. All right, well, we're not playing Draw Chicken because he has a Ripple. I'm surprised he decided to deploy his own Windsinger instead of rippling us during his upkeep last time, or during his ready phase. YOLO. Seriously, you drew the counter magic? So, like, on a scale of 1 to dead, we are now super dead, because he had 2 turns and drew Ripple counter magic in those turns. So now he gets to deploy his Windsinger, and then he drew Peak, too. Ugh, could we not have drawn cards that did things this game? It's so sad. It's like every game we're flooding and dying. I don't think this matchup's good for us, but we definitely like drawing mono shards hasn't helped. Yeah, we mulliganed to nothing and then flooded out this game. Like, we started this game on 4 cards. Like, if we would have just hit like counter magic or verdict or suffocate in here, or even just like more peaks. And now we have to relog because Wintermoon is hung. So if it ever does that to you, or your opponent activates their Wintermoon ability and your timer keeps ticking down, but nothing comes up, and you hit your spacebar or whatever to pass priority, it doesn't work. You have to relog. And now he gets to play his Wintermoon. Once we've got a couple looks here, I'm sure he's just going to draw counter magic on his first draw, like a professional. But we get our draw step, and then these 2 looks before any real damage sets in. We drew another shard. Excellent. Just what we're looking for. Buccaneer or Time Ripple. Okay, we found a Time Ripple. Unfortunately, this Time Ripple lets him draw a card because the draw card happens when we cast this. So, bounce your guy, draw a card. Put our Windsinger and Peak back into the deck for now. Oh, he has a quick Root Father, sure. Sure. Scale of 1 to dead, super dead. Alright, reserving. We just don't have good reserve plan for this matchup. Just seems pretty impossible. Croc's not good. Brown Fox Scout's fine, so it can ambush a Sorceress. Canarosaurus isn't good. Just board like that. Hope for the best. So that might be that the format is at a point right now where this deck isn't very playable. When I first got into Hex and I picked up this deck, this configuration of Wintermoon that our opponent was playing didn't exist. Like the version that I'm playing right now was the popular version of Wintermoon to be playing. 2 counter magics, probably fine. The P's run on screen there. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate the support. Yeah, and things like the 100k like dictate swings. Like people see new decks at them and then want to play them. The Coyote Moon deck also has a very bad matchup against the deck that our opponent is playing. You can't interact with Azure Fate Sorceress that has Spell Shield, like, and then you just die. Like that's basically how the matchup goes. Like if you don't have Extinction, like you probably just have a bad matchup against this. Now that being said, his deck probably doesn't have the greatest matchup against all. In fact, the Blood Sapphire deck I was playing has a pretty solid matchup against our opponent's deck. So like that's a reason to shy away from this, is you have a bad, and that's why like the mono blood deck that we've beaten twice that this has a good matchup against has a strong matchup against this Winter Moon deck. So you know, like all CCGs, like there's, you know, a bit of cat and mouse and like hoping that the decks you end up getting paired against work out for you. I mean, this deck isn't because of, like, it's indirectly because of Havoc, but, like, his Monday things have nothing to do with it. Like, it's because Koma won the Invitational with it. And, like, Koma did credit Havoc with the base idea, but, like, Koma is the one that put the deck on the map. Left Canarasaurus in. Yeah, probably Yo Cousin. I'm looking for shards, yep. If he has Azure Fate plus Counter Magic next turn, we're basically just hosed. And then we're going to get Counter Magic, and then I'm going to concede the game. Yep. The game is over. No point in playing anymore. Womp womp. Alright, so we had a pretty unimpressive 2-3. Like I said, I guess this deck just isn't at a spot right now where I probably would want to be playing it. So maybe I should stop recommending it to people and suggest they buy into something else. I'll pull it up here real quick before we close out the day. So this is basically Eglov's deck from the Invitational. I made a couple of small changes that actually make it better in this matchup. Like I added more Counter Magic because like you just have to stop Azure Fate Sorceress. We just don't have a cheap efficient answer. Like Mass Polymorph Dinger is the only answer we have to a resolved Azure Fate Sorceress, which is just, it's miserable, like trying to resolve your 8-cost card against, you know, a deck with Counter Magics and Verdicts post board. So yeah, this is the deck. It's medium. It's fine against all of like the blood and the mid-range and the ramp decks, but it's really bad against Azure Cannon, which is one of the decks we lost to, and then we lost to the Havoc configuration of Winter Moon twice. So that's the other deck that it's just not great against. With that, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Thanks for hanging out here, everyone. I appreciate the support. If you're going to be at the Open in Indianapolis this weekend, feel free to stop by and say hello. I will be there doing battle in the Standard Open, hopefully all weekend. I will catch y'all. I do have a spoiler. We talked about it a little bit earlier. I can go ahead and pull that up again. We have our sweet Starlight Pathfinder here, which actually could be good in the Coyote stack. And again, its power looks a little bit mediocre on the surface, but if you consider this card in the Winter Moon Coyote deck, once it gets prophesized and then you shuffle it back into your deck with Winter Moon, you automatically draw it, and then it has draw a card on it because it was Winter Moon. It's just like super, super good. Yeah, Waffle, I'm leaving for Indianapolis in 2 hours and I haven't packed yet, so I need to go take a shower and pack before the kids wake up. We won 40% of our matches, which is mediocre. Like we won good matchups and we lost bad matchups. So this deck is thoroughly average right now. We'll see how the Primal Dawn's supposed to be releasing soon. We'll see what happens with that and how the format changes. But I wouldn't be surprised if like things move away from the Havoc Moon with the next set just because of some of the cards that have been spoiled. So All right, like I said, I'll catch y'all later, folks. Thanks for hanging out this afternoon.